Hello, in this video I'm going to do an experiment. This is my Squier Pete Vance Signature P bass. The strings on right now are about 1 year old, but normally when you have your bass you have the strings tuned. For this last year I have only had the bass tuned and had tension on the strings. You can see that they're loose right now. I only had tension on the strings while recording, so I want to see, even though these strings are like 1 year old and they have been kept loose like this for the most of the time, I would like to see, because normally when you have old strings they become quite dull sounding after a year or after even months and weeks. So I want to see, because I think these right now sounds pretty good. How is the difference between these ones and new strings? Because they haven't like been kept tension for most of the time, only when I've been recording, and I haven't really been recording that much recently or in the last year, but still, like I've kept it like this when I've not been recording. So I want to see the difference. I've recorded some bass parts with these old strings. I'm going to swap them out for some new strings and re-record the same bass parts again. Let's see if there's a difference. And can you make your strings last longer if you don't keep them at tension when you're not playing? That is basically my experiment. So, considering that these strings have been on the bass for a year, I think they held up pretty well. If you ever heard like old bass strings, they usually sound very, very dull, but in this case they sounded actually pretty close. And not, of course I still prefer the sound of the new strings, but these sounded perfectly fine considering they are 1 year minimum old. The only thing I wish I could change with this experiment was that I would have a pair of strings that have been kept at tension for 1 year. But I only have one bass guitar, so I can't unfortunately do that in this test. Maybe in the future sometime. But at the moment I'm happy with this test, and I still prefer the new strings for recording, but these sounded actually fine and usable for being 1 year old. So, experiment successful, I guess. Well, thank you for watching, and here is another bunch of videos you can watch if you want to. Or you can just go to whatever YouTube recommends you to watch next, maybe. Yes, that sounds fine to me. Do whatever you want.